This weekend, as I conclude our series on heaven, I'm going to be talking about the best is yet to come. What you're going to hear this weekend is that in heaven, there will not be marriage. When we think about marriage, some of you are going to be greatly bummed with that concept because you have a fantastic marriage. Perhaps some of you, where your marriage is not so good, it'll come as a relief. But regardless, we do know that in heaven there is no marriage. Well, let me correct that. There's one marriage, and that marriage is between Christ and his bride, the church. Marriage here on earth, according to Ephesians chapter 5, is established as a shadow of what marriage will be in heaven. And it won't be replaced in heaven, but marriage here on earth prepares us for what that will be in heaven. Now, God, let me talk to you about sex then as well. And actually, since I'm on the subject, let me talk about chocolate too. So, God created sex. Sex was designed to bring great pleasure, joy, and expression of intimacy in that marriage relationship. Sex was reserved for married couples in a monogamous relationship. And in heaven, if there is no marriage, it raises the question, well, does that mean there's no sex? And here's how I can best explain this. There was a pre-adolescent boy whose, the time had come, dad needed to talk to him about the birds and the bees. And so the dad wanted to get creative in a way that this would make sense to him when he's talking about sex. And it just turns out that this boy had a very strong affinity to chocolate. I mean, he liked all kinds of chocolate: white chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, chocolate with almonds, chocolate with raisins, chocolate with caramel. Probably his best was chocolate with caramel. I mean, and the guy was fixated on it. It's like that's all he ever thought about. And Mom, Dad, when are we going to get another box of See's candy? And anytime he was at the store, he'd always beg for a candy bar. And so the dad thought, I know how much he likes candy, chocolate especially. I know how much pleasure that brings to him. So the dad decided to talk to him about sex and told him, hey, son, sex is kind of like chocolate. You know how much joy it brings to you? Sex is like that, but it's even better. And the boy was kind of like, better? Better than chocolate? Well, does that mean when I'm having sex, I can have chocolate too? In other words, the concept of sex to this young boy, even though he understood the pleasure that chocolate could give, was beyond his ability to grasp and comprehend. And I think so it is with us in heaven as well. What God desired out of sex, since he created it, is that it's the ultimate expression of intimacy. I think what people desire here in their marital relationships, in fact, even what people desire at church, is they want to be loved and they want to be accepted for who they are. They want to expose themselves and be naked, so to speak, be in front of other people. And in a marriage where you have that level of intimacy that is accompanied with sex, I mean, that's fantastic. Now in heaven, that won't be the case. And so we can look at it and say, well, that must mean there's something greater that God has in store. God would not take away sex without replacing it with something better. What that is, I don't know, but I know this. I know it's going to be intensely pleasurable, and I know it's going to be extreme sense of intimacy that is being expressed, either intimacy between each other or intimacy with Christ. Not sure yet, but when you hear there's no marriage in heaven, when you hear there's no sex in heaven, don't let that bum you out. There's going to be something even better. By the way, if you're in a marriage right now and it's a fantastic marriage and you have married your best friend, there is no reason not to believe that in heaven you won't be best friends for eternity as well. So I just wanted to share that with you. Also, hey, let me do a little promo for these shirts. We have them on sale. They're in the courtyard, $5 each. It's a deal. I decided to wear mine today. Very comfortable. Great way to get dialogue going about just Gateway, about the church, about your faith. So anyhow, you may want to consider picking one up on Sunday. God bless.